What's up, my Central Unit? It's the Central Man here, so back again with another WCW pay-per-view review. The last one I did, I reviewed the Great American Bash 95. A decent show. 95 was a bad year in the pro wrestling business in the two major wrestling promotions at the time, in WCW and the WWF. So in this installment, I'm going to review the Great American Bash 1998. 98 in the pro wrestling business was in an all-time high in both in WCW and also in WWF. Yeah, Great American Bash 98 at the Baltimore Arena right now it's called the Royal Farms Arena in Baltimore, Maryland on the 14th of June 1998. The attendance for the show was 12,810. The buy rates for Great American Bash 98, I think it's about 290,000 buys. The tagline for Great American Bash 98 is "Baseball, hot dogs, and apple pies, traditional bites, the new American pastime." The last 1998 WCW pay-per-view review I did was Spring Stampede 98. It was the first pay-per-view after Raw beat Nitro in the ratings. So fast forward 2 months after Spring Stampede, the major storyline at the time in WCW was the NWO. It was a kind of bit of a power shift, and the NWO was split into groups. You got NWO Hollywood, the black and white. It's led by Hulk Hogan, and then Kevin Nash formed his own version of the NWO. It's called the NWO Wolfpack. That is the white, the red, and the black. So the commentators for Great American Bash 98, we got Tony Schiavone, Bobby Heenan, and Mike Tenay on commentary. So the first match to kick off the Great American Bash 98, we got Booker T versus Chris Benoit in the finals of the Best of the 7 series, and this is for become the number 1 contender for the WCW TV Championship. And winner faced the TV champion later on tonight. So yeah, this storyline, this rivalry between Booker T and Benoit was all around the WCW TV title, because between February and May, the champions between Booker T and Benoit, they kind of like flip-flopping the titles, winning each other for that championship, and then kind of like Finlay kind of brought the monopoly, won the title basically in May. So yeah, like I said, the winner really face Finlay for this championship later on tonight. So yeah, they had the 6th match of the series was on a go-home show to Thunder. It was a last man standing match. Benoit won after Bret Hart hit Booker T in the face, or really in the head, with a chair. So yeah, the final match, Booker T announced this match will be the final match of the series will be at Great American Bash. Anyway, so this was a good opener, and really match of the night between Booker T and Benoit. Good chemistry. I think this series kind of set both Booker T and Benoit for life. Really, it's just set them for life. Booker T's a tag team wrestler with his brother, Stevie Ray, Holland Heat, multiple time WCW tag team champions, and Benoit, he's kind of like still an unproven guy. Yeah, he was in the Horsemen, with Flair, Anderson, and Mongo, but he still was not quite there yet. We're not quite in the levels. But I think this series kind of set Benoit and Booker T for life. Not just in WCW, but later on in the WWE. Because future world champions, potential stars. Booker T did the spinner Rooney. He's still, as a tag team wrestler, he's not a single star yet. Still in Holland Heat, still tagging with his brother Stevie Ray. Benoit hit Booker T with a suplex. I think he hit the diving headbutt. In the end, I think Booker T hit like a Holland sidekick, hit him with a missile drop kick to win this match, and later on face Finlay for the title. Yeah, this was a really good match. Like I said, it just set both of them for life, And really funny, like 2 years later, both Benoit and Booker T are world champions. Benoit won the title in the start of 2000. Anyway, later on left the WWF, the night after Sold Out, and Booker T become a world champion later that in 2000. Just really like set him up for life. This series. Anyway, so the next match we got Canyon versus Perry Saturn, or Saturn. Originally it was supposed to be Canyon versus Raven. Unfortunately, Raven refused, letting Saturn to do his dirty work. I'm guessing like Canyon got himself kicked out from the flock. I done my research because Canyon was in the flock, but I'm guessing they kicked him out of the group. And this is just a singles match. It's not the Ravens rules match. You know, all members of the flock interfered. They did show up in this match. You had Lodi, you had Kidman, you had Riggs and Horace, kind of like beating the crap out of Canyon. And you know, you got Nick Patrick kick all members of the flock out. This was a decent match, you know, between Canyon and Perry Saturn, back and forth between Canyons and Perry Saturn. They got a little bit of good chemistry, both two good workers. You know, you had this two guys, two Mortis. The end of this match, Mortis is basically this, I don't know, this type of luchador type of wrestler. He's basically wearing this type of skeleton, wearing green costume. Yeah, two Mortises fighting, and afterwards, really at the end, you had Canyon hit like a flatliner onto Saturn, I'm trying to remember, sorry. Yeah, Canyon won this match, and then you thought it was Mortis, you thought it was the real Mortis, but instead, you know, Mortis kind of hit the DDT onto Canyon, and they find out it was Raven disguised as Mortis, and then he grabbed the mic, basically kicked Saturn out of the group, kicked him out of the flock for losing this match, and then you thought like the flock beating down Saturn, but instead Saturn kind of overcome the odds, beat members of the flock, you know, Kidman, Horace, Lodi, Riggs. So it was the start of Perry Saturn's face turn. It's not the last time we see the flock on the show. Okay, and then we got the WCW Cruiserweight title match. Really, we got Chris Jericho versus Dean Malenko for the vacant WCW Cruiserweight Championship. This rivalry took place months. It started way back. You know, this rivalry really put Chris Jericho on the map because Jericho was mocking Malenko, did the whole, because Malenko's nickname is called the Man with 1,000 Holds. Jericho did a segment on Nitro called the Man with 1,004 Holds. And Jericho beat Malenko at Uncensored to win the Cruiserweight Championship. Malenko took some time off, and then Malenko dressed up as it was called Cyclops, I think, at some Slamboree, win the Battle Royal to get a shot at the Cruiserweight Championship, and then again at the same night beat Jericho for the title, and then at the Go Home show, Malenko faked the championship because he didn't want it as Dean Malenko, and then you got on-screen Commissioner J.J. Dillon. You know, you thought Jericho thinks he's gonna, J.J. Dillon's gonna give him the title, but instead J.J. Dillon kind of really put Jericho in a match with Malenko for the title, and Jericho's losing his shit. It's like, I'm not ready. I'm not facing Malenko. I am the champion. So, anyway, the fans they were booing Jericho. They were booing Jericho. They were chanting Jericho sucks. You could tell Jericho was getting over as a heel. I think, yeah, like I said about the Booker T Benoit 7-match series, that set them for life. I think this rivalry between Jericho and Malenko, I think it really set Jericho for life, not just in WCW, later on in WWF, and also right now in AEW. Yeah, a really good match. Really, actually, it was a decent match between Malenko and Jericho. Like, Jericho locked Malenko in the Lion Tamer, and then Malenko locked Jericho in the Texas Cloverleaf. I should have called it the Florida Cloverleaf because Malenko is not from Texas. He's from Florida, because he's born in New Jersey actually. But yeah, in the end, Jericho really did a remark on Malenko, says you're nothing more than your father. Yeah, Dean Malenko's father is called Boris Malenko. I'm guessing he was a wrestler back in the 60s, 70s. And I think he said about dead father, because he said, you're nothing more than your dead father, Boris Malenko, who died in 94. Yeah, Malenko got pissed off, hit Jericho with the chair, that caused a DQ. They were fighting near the stage, fighting near the crowd. Not near the crowd, but fighting outside, backstage area, fighting in the streets. I think Malenko kind of banged Jericho's head near a mailbox, and then Jericho kind of crossed the road. And really Jericho is now the Cruiserweight champion now. You know, and the next night on Nitro, Malenko got suspended, but he did show up in Jericho's next pay-per-view match was against Mysterio at Bash of the Beach. And then, and then I think he helped Juventud Guerrera defeating Jericho for the title at Road Wild. So basically, it kind of ended the rivalry after Road Wild. It kind of ended in concluded in August. So yeah, it was a good match, but disappointed. But the match ended disqualification because people wanted to see a decisive winner. Okay, then we got Juventud Guerrera versus Reese, a member of the Flock with Lodi. Not a good match, and I done my research on Ron Reese. Ron Reese is the former Yeti. The Yeti is a part of the Dungeon of Doom. It was kind of like feuding with Hulk Hogan at that time. Yeah, not a good match. It was basically like he's just there. He was basically the Flock's bodyguard. He was there because of his size. In the end, you had Fam Hammer kind of hit Reese in the head with the chair while the referee did not look, and I think Juventud hit the Hurricane to win this match. Yeah, it was just like a crap match. Sometimes these big versus small matches in pro wrestling, they could be good, it could be a hit, or sometimes it could be a miss. This is more of a miss, because Reese, he's not a good wrestler. He's there because of his size. Anyway, then we got Finlay versus Booker T for the TV Championship because Booker T defeated Benoit to become the number one contender later on, or really early on that night. I think this was okay. It was an okay match, but not their best one because I think with Booker T and Benoit, they just got some chemistry, but with Finlay versus Booker T for the TV title, there was no chemistry. No chemistry, man. So, and for the whole bulk of the match, Finlay kind of locking really was working on the leg onto Booker T. And Booker T kind of like not selling the knee. Finlay trying to hit Booker T with a tombstone power driver. I think Booker T countered it, trying to hit a tombstone power driver of his own, but I'm guessing like the self-proclaimed Booker T botched it, but I think Finlay countered it. In the end, Booker T hit the basically just a normal power driver onto Finlay to win this match and become the new TV champion. Our next match, we've got the United States title match between Goldberg versus Conan. Conan represent the NWO Black and Red. In Conan's corner, you got Rick Rude and Curt Hennig. Curt Hennig is the former Mr. Perfect. The reason why Goldberg is the champion at this time because on the first Nitro after Spring Stampede, he defeated Raven in a Raven's Rules match to not just win his first championship in WCW, but win his first championship as a pro wrestler. Goldberg was red hot at this time, because the fans are truly getting behind Goldberg because he's undefeated, because of the streak. Goldberg is 99 matches unbeaten, going for the 100 win against Conan. This is a typical Goldberg squash match, if you watch Goldberg's matches in WCW and his second run in WWE, he only works in 1 to 2 minute squash matches. Conan had some offense, but Goldberg hit the spear and the jackhammer to win this match and retain the United States title. And then afterwards, Curt Hennig and Rick Rude turned on Conan. You got Kevin Nash and Lex Luger chasing after both Rick Rude and Curt Hennig and coming to the rescue. You had Curt Hennig basically take off his NWO Wolfpack t-shirt, and he's not really part of the Wolfpack. He's still with the NWO Black and White, or the NWO Hollywood. I think at this point in this match between Goldberg and Conan, Goldberg was still in his feud with Curt Hennig. The next match, we've got a tag team match. We've got Hollywood Hulk Hogan and Bret Hart taking on Macho Man Randy Savage and Roddy Piper. Piper and Savage are in cooch at each other, but at the same time, I think Savage is in this feud between Bret Hart and Roddy Piper. Bret Hart in this match is a heel. He turned heel in April to join Hulk Hogan's NWO faction. That was a mistake. That's one of WCW's biggest mistakes because Bret Hart despises Hulk Hogan. Going back to the days in the WWF, because in '93, originally they should have done a match between Bret versus Hogan for the championship. Unfortunately, Hogan declined the whole idea of putting over and passing the torch to Bret due to his size. In Hogan's standards, putting over Brett is not believable. Basically Hogan was playing the politic card, and fans want to see in WCW Brett versus Hogan. Unfortunately, we're not going to see it because it'll be the same result in WCW, and that's the reason why, this is why they never did a match between Brett and Hogan in the WWF, and also in WCW. They never had a match in WCW. It's a damn shame, and I think this is the reason why Brett's run in WCW was disappointing. And it's really funny. Let's go back to '97. Brett and Hogan are heels, the top heels in two different promotions, the two biggest promotions, WWF and WCW. Hogan in WCW, he was the top heel in '97 in WCW with the whole NWO, holding that WCW title hostage. With Bret Hart, he's a heel in '97 in WWF. Formed the Hart Foundation with his brother Owen, his brother-in-laws, Bulldog, and Neidhart, and Brian Pillman, feuding with Shawn Michaels and Steve Austin, the American wrestlers, because the Hart Foundation's gimmick, they hate America but adore the like in around the world, in Canada, Britain, around the world, but America, they got despised in America. Anyway, so, and by the way, Brett came into WCW with a ton of momentum after the Montreal Screwjob at Survivor Series '97, turning Brett heel. All his momentum in Brett's, all the momentum of Brett is all gone after this heel turn, man. It's just like I said, Brett's run was disappointing. Yeah, this match was crap. You got the Disciple. The Disciple is Ed Leslie, former Brutus Beefcake. He's in Hogan's corner. And by the way, Hogan was the champion at this point because he defeated Savage on Nitro after Spring Stampede. He grabbed the championship belt, smacked it in Piper's face. Piper placed a chair onto Brett's chest, did an elbow drop. I done my research that I think Savage got injured. Really, he picked up the injury in a match against Sting at Spring Stampede for the championship. And in this match, he was wearing like a knee brace. I think he did like a move on the top rope. He injured his knee. You had Hogan and Brett working on the injured knee of Savage. Brett locking the sharpshooter onto Randy Savage to make Savage to tap out. So the heels got the win. Yeah. Brett was kind of like Hogan's bag boy. And afterwards you got Piper chasing off Hogan and Brett. And then it was probably originally it was supposed to be a Gene Okerlund trying to interview Piper and Savage. Piper helping Savage up, but instead Savage turned on Roddy Piper. Like I said, they're in cahoots with each other. And then we got a quick match. Didn't know it was a match between Savage versus Piper. It was only a quick match. It had Savage was about to hit the diving elbow, but instead Piper got out of the way. Piper is selling the knee. Not Piper selling the knee. Sorry, Savage was selling the knee. Piper locking the figure 4 leg lock onto Savage. Savage tap out. Piper won this match. And yeah, Piper was not Piper. Savage. This was Savage's last match. After that, he took some time off due to injury. He had a knee injury. We won't see Savage again until April of 1999. He missed the rest of 1998. Okay, and then we got the main event. The main event, we got Sting versus the Giant. Yeah, in those two matches, it's basically NWO versus NWO Wolfpack. In the main event, Sting and Giant really fighting for the WCW Tag Team Championships. This is not WCW 2000. This is pre-Russo era. Why they're fighting for the WCW Tag Team Championships one-on-one, I don't get it. I just totally don't get it, man. So, yeah, this was an okay match. It was a bit better than the tag team match between Hogan and Brett versus Piper and Savage, and also Piper and Savage is just a quick match. But yeah, the main event match was not saying too much. It was okay. Sting hit not one, not two, but three Scorpion Death Drops onto Giant to win this match and won the tag team titles. And then on the next night on Nitro, Sting's announced his new tag team partner is Kevin Nash. So Wolfpack are the tag team champions. You know, that's like Nash and Sting. This was a bit, actually, if you compare Great American Bash of 98 to 95, 95 you had a good opener between, Wright versus Pillman, and a good main event between Savage and Flair to end off Great American Bash 95. But this show, yeah, my final rate for Great American Bash, I'm gonna give it about 8.5 out of 10. I think like the opener was match of the night between Booker T versus Benoit. Canyon versus Saturn was decent. Jericho versus Malenko for the Cruiserweight title. That was good instead of the DQ finish. Eddie versus Chavo, that was also a decent match. Besides that, there were a lot of crap. Not a lot of crap matches. You got like Reese versus Hoover 2, that was air. The Hogan and Brett versus Piper and Savage was air again. You know, it was a quick match between Piper and Savage, and the main event was okay, but not too much. Actually, I could put the TV title match between Finlay and Booker T. It was okay. It wasn't like bad, but it wasn't great. It was kind of like, I'll give it 3.5 stars. So I'll put it in the good. So yeah, that's my review of WCW Great American Bash 1998. Hope you like it. Leave your thoughts in the comment section below. Smash the like button and subscribe to the Central Man Network on YouTube. This is the Central Man officially signing out. Check you later.